Hello everyone, welcome to school. My hand says hello, my hand says hello. Every time I see my friends, my hand says hello. Hola. My hand says hola, my hand says hola. Every time I see my friends, my hand says hola. Salam alaikum. My hand says salam alaikum. My hand says salam alaikum. Every time I see my friends, my hand says salam alaikum. Ni hao. My hand says ni hao. My hand says ni hao. Every time I see my friends, my hand says ni hao. Konnichiwa. My hand says konnichiwa. My hand says konnichiwa. Every time I see my friends, my hand says konnichiwa. Salam. My hand says salam. My hand says salam. Every time I see my friends, my hand says salam. And sin chow. My hand says sin chow. My hand says sin chow. Every time I see my friends, my hand says sin chow. Namaste. My hand says namaste. My hand says namaste. Every time I see my friends, my hand says namaste. Hello, let's see what day it is today. We have our calendar and it is still December, December. Let's see what day of December. Are you ready to count with me? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and yesterday was Tuesday, so that was 15. I'm going to make a 1 and a 5 for 15. And then that brings us today, Wednesday. What comes after 15? That's right, 16. So I'll write a 1 and a 6 for 16. So here we are on today. Today is Wednesday, December 16. Can you say that with me? Today is Wednesday, December 16. All right, and now it's time to sing our ABCs. Are you ready? Here we go. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I know my ABCs. Next time, won't you sing with me? Let's do the sounds that we know. A says apple. B says b for bear. C says k for cat. D says d for dog. E says like elephant. F says f for fish. G says g for goat. H says for hat. I says I for iron. J says j for jar. K says k for key. L says l for leaf. And our letter for this week is M, and M makes the sound m for moon. Here we go. Well, if you remember on Monday, we read the story of the gingerbread man. And did you remember to tell someone at home the story about the characters that were in it and what happened? Well, today I have a story called Bunny Cakes. And this is another story about somebody making something. In the gingerbread man, the little old woman and the little old man made the gingerbread man. In this story, it's a story about a couple of bunnies, a brother and a sister, and they're making cakes. Let's find out how they make those cakes. It was Grandma's birthday. Oh, I think they're making cakes for Grandma. Max made her an earthworm birthday cake. No, Max, said Max's sister Ruby. We are going to make Grandma an angel surprise cake with raspberry fluff icing. That's an interesting cake that Max is making. Looks like he's using a little bit of dirt, too. Max wanted to help. Don't touch anything, Max, said Ruby. But it was too late. Uh-oh. It looks to me like Max knocked over the eggs and broke them. Ruby sent Max to the store with a list that said EGGS. Do you know what that says? Eggs. So Ruby needs more eggs for her cake. So she said, Max, go to the store. This is what I want you to buy, eggs. Max wanted red-hot marshmallow squirters for his earthworm cake. So he wrote red-hot marshmallow squirters on the list. So right under eggs, that's how Max wrote red-hot marshmallow squirters. That's interesting writing. The grocer could not read Max's writing. Max wrote the way he thinks that writing looks, and that's the way many children write when they're first learning to write. And that's okay, but the grocer can't read it because Max wasn't using regular letters just yet. Eggs, said the grocer. He read the letters, it said eggs, and he gave Max the eggs. Max brought the eggs home to Ruby. Don't bump the table, Max, said Ruby, but it was too late. Oh no, he bumped the table. What did he knock over this time? That's right, the milk. Ruby sent Max back to the store with a list that said M-I-L-K, milk. Max needs to buy some milk now. This time, Max wrote red-hot marshmallow squirters in a different way. Max hoped and hoped for his squirters, but the grocer still couldn't read Max's writing. Milk, said the grocer, and he gave Max milk. It looks like he kind of tried to draw a picture of the squirters, but the grocer still did not know what it said. But he could read the word milk. Max brought the milk home to Ruby. There's a yellow line on the floor, Max, said Ruby. You can't step over that line. So she drew a line. She said, don't come near the table where I'm making Grandma's cake. But Max crossed the line anyway, and over went the flour. Oh, no. Ruby got out her pencil. Uh-oh. Max knocked over the flour, and she wrote F-L-O-U-R, flour. So Max has to go back to the store and buy some flour. This time, Max wrote red-hot marshmallow squirters in the most beautiful writing he knew. Max could almost taste the marshmallow squirters. Flour, said the grocer. And he gave Max flour. So that's how he wrote it this time. But he still didn't use actual letters, so the grocer couldn't read it. When Max got home, there was a sign on the kitchen door. Max, the kitchen is no place for you, said Ruby. Oh, look what she made. She made a picture of Max with a red line through it that says, no, Max. Max can't go here. So Ruby's not even letting him in the kitchen now. Ruby finished up her cake. So she's putting eggs, milk, flour. What else did she put in there? Some sugar, mixing it all together to make a cake. She baked it in the oven and cooled it and iced it with raspberry fluff filling. It needs something else, Max, said Ruby. Birthday candles, silver stars, sugar hearts, buttercream roses, wrote Ruby. Meanwhile, Max had a brand new idea. I wonder what he's going to do. Let's see. Oh, so there's Ruby's note for the grocer. Birthday candles, silver stars, sugar hearts, buttercream roses. Oh, he drew a picture of red-hot marshmallow squirters on Ruby's list and ran to the grocer. He could not wait. So instead of trying to write the words, because Max is still young and doesn't know how to write all the letters, he made a picture. I wonder if that will work. Birthday candles, silver stars, sugar hearts, buttercream roses, said the grocer. Oh, what's this? Why, it must be red hot marshmallow squirters. And he gave Max all the things on the list, including the red hot marshmallow squirters. So Max made a picture, and that was how the grocer knew what Max wanted. So sometimes we use pictures instead of words, don't we? And that works just fine. Ruby's cake looked just beautiful. Oh, she's putting on the roses and the candles and the stars. Max went out and put caterpillar icing on his earthworm cake. Caterpillar icing. Kind of hope Grandma doesn't eat that cake, but it's a pretty cake. Grandma was so thrilled. Oh, she didn't know which cake to eat first. So there's Max's cake, his earthworm cake with the caterpillar frosting and the red hot marshmallow squirters. And there's Ruby's cake with the roses and the candles and the stars. They each made a cake for their grandma for her birthday. I think that's a fun story. Well, when you make something, you need to have all the ingredients to put together, and then people very often need to follow a recipe. And that's a good thing to learn how to do. So I have something that you might, a very easy recipe for something that I used to make with my own children when they were young. And this is a recipe that makes cinnamon smelling decorations. It's a recipe for cinnamon applesauce decorations. So it's not something that you would eat, but it is something that you can use to make a decoration or to make jewelry. You can poke a hole in it, put a string through to tie it up and hang it somewhere in your house, or you could make some shapes and put them on a string for a necklace. So this is a recipe that if you'd like to, you could practice mixing ingredients together at home with an older person at home. So I'm going to show you my recipe for cinnamon applesauce decorations. Oh, and first I should show you the things that we need for this recipe. You will need applesauce. And I don't have any applesauce in my house, so I just have a picture of apples. But don't use apples like this. Use applesauce that comes in a jar. And you will also need cinnamon. And you'll need something called wax paper and a rolling pin because you're going to make a dough with the cinnamon and the applesauce. And then you want to roll it out on the wax paper because it will be a little bit sticky. And then, the fun part, you'll need a cookie cutter. What shape is my cookie cutter? Star, that's right. So you can get a cookie cutter any shape that you want, any kind of cookie cutters that you have at home, and you're going to stamp it in the dough and then peel away the dough, and then you'll have shapes made of cinnamon and applesauce that you can use for decorations or to make jewelry. So here is my recipe, and it says number 1, stir together equal parts cinnamon and applesauce until it's like a dough. So you might want to put 1/4 of a cup of cinnamon and 1/4 of a cup of applesauce together. If you have a lot of cinnamon at home and you want to make a lot of decorations, maybe 1/2 cup of cinnamon with 1/2 cup of applesauce. But whatever you use, you want to have the same amount of cinnamon as applesauce. That's what we mean by equal parts. And you just put it in a bowl and stir, 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 stir until it's like a dough. Number 2, roll it out. So that's when you'll need your rolling pin. Once it's a nice cinnamon smelling dough, roll it out onto wax paper. That's a kind of paper that it won't stick on. And then you cut out the shapes with your cookie cutter. And also, don't forget to poke a hole in your shape so that later on you can put some string or yarn through so you can hang up your decoration or turn it into a necklace. So cut it out with the cookie cutter and then poke a hole. And then step number 3, you're going to put it on a rack, some kind of a rack, like some people have little cooling racks for when you bake cookies. So you'll want to put your decoration on a rack and then dry it on the rack for 24 hours. That's one whole day and night, 24 hours. And then when it's dry, you will have a cinnamon smelling decoration that you can put a string through and hang up somewhere in your house, or you can put some together to make some jewelry. And it will be kind of a fun decoration that you can have, and it will smell really good, just like cinnamon. So that's something that you can try at home, and if you'd like to, and then you can tell me about it if you give it a try. And parents, any kind of cooking that you do with your child, just giving them practice measuring and stirring is really good. It helps develop good math skills and good motor skills. So have fun trying that out. And I will see everybody Friday at our Zoom meeting. Goodbye, everyone.